Hey guys, how's it going? So today I just wanted to give you a quick update and a small kind of mini tour of some things that are going on out in our garden. Of course, this time of year, the garden's not looking awesome, especially the areas I'm about to show you because we're kind of laying waste to a lot of our garden this year in preparation for much better things. So I'm hoping this video is an encouragement to those of you guys who have been struggling with things in your garden. Like maybe you moved into a house like we did where there are some things that look like they have been limped along, like our pine trees next to our gazebo that are now gone. I'm going to show you what it looks like. They had blight when we moved in, and it's not something you can recuperate. You can prevent it from spreading further, but it's nothing that you can ever make, like you can't make the tree look better than it did at the time we moved in. So we've been kind of just living with it, knowing that at some point we would remove them, and it is hard. It's hard to remove big things. It's not like, I know it probably seems like because of the sheer amount of things we remove that it's easy for us. Some things are, but some things aren't, even if they are sick. Anyway, I just wanted it to be an encouragement that it's okay to do that. It's okay to take stuff out that you don't love, that you're limping by, that you have to spray every year. Like, get rid of those things that are a headache. It's not worth it. And there always is a small amount of negativity surrounding removing things from your garden. But I think in so many cases, I mean, it's just words. Don't let it seep into your brain. Like, do what makes you happy in your space. And I feel like whenever we remove stuff, we return plant material like 100-fold to that space. You know, we might remove a tree, but then we plant 65 arborvitaes kind of in that same area. And we're always just in a constant state of developing our space and making it more our style, our taste, something that we love. And that's the most important part to us. We're trying to create an oasis here at home. We don't do a ton of traveling. I'm a huge homebody, so I want my space here to be a reflection of me, you know, and to be something that I really want to be out in. And that's really hard to do sometimes when you've got plants that are just like, you know, a constant pain in the butt. So I wanted to start up front here, but Aaron just rolled around.
The guys needed the pickup moved.
Oh, they did?
I think they're swinging one of the big logs through. And
from the pine trees?
Yeah, just in case it swings, they didn't want to hit the...
So this whole process is exciting to you, is it not?
I love it. I love getting a blank slate. My idea, when I was a kid, my idea of cleaning the room was to remove everything out of the room and put everything back one, well, clean it, and then maybe clean it, and then put things back one at a time. So this makes me excited because I feel like it's a blank slate. And you can do what you want. Aaron
and I differ a little bit in that I do agree that a blank slate is good, because especially when you're dealing with sprinkler lines, and I'll explain to you what we're going to be doing up here. We really do need to clear the area, because we need to trench brand new lawn sprinklers and everything everywhere. But I don't do well having everything chaos all at once, and I feel like this year is going to be the worst.
It probably is, yeah. The most space is messed up.
It'll look the most stark this year. I think we'll have a lot of beauty in very small areas. But like if I take a big picture, or if we do a garden tour and show you like in like spaces in a larger view, it's just going to look a little bit different this year.
But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having, you know, a year or two or three where it's kind of like you can tell it's young, you're getting it together, because then, you know, 10, 20 years down the road, you'll be like, aren't we so glad that we did that?
Yeah.
And we put things where we needed it to be.
Yes.
And didn't limp along trees that like this one that burns every year.
He's talking about this one. It's a crimson, some kind of a crimson maple, and all it does every year is it leaves out and then it gets powdery mildew and burns every single year. And no amount of extra water or spraying has helped that tree.
Right.
So it's just one of those things. So that's one of the first things that's gonna go. I actually saved the crabapple, you guys. Aaron wanted to get rid of that because it has fire blight and we've been dealing with it, but I love that tree so much that I'm willing to try to recuperate it for a few more years before we get rid of that. So it was on the schedule for the guys to remove it, and this morning I just told Aaron, I can't do it. I think I'm also dealing with some hormonal, emotional issues. I mean, we're like 9 days out from having a baby, and so like I got to thinking about that crabapple tree leaving. I started talking to Aaron, I started to tear up. Like, I'm not a crier, but I can't lose that tree right now.
I don't blame you. It's fine. We can leave that one. I do think eventually, you know, because it has blight.
Yeah.
But we can get rid of it later if we choose to. But we do need to get rid of this one here.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So anyway, in the front of the house here, I've got a couple of winter containers. These are the last two I need to clean out. And we had such bad wind yesterday. Look at all the tumbleweeds. They're everywhere. Like if you look in any little corner, any little area, there's just like tumbleweeds that have gathered around plants. So here in the front yard, we've got this old lilac. You might remember, I can't remember if it was this last season. I don't think it was. I think it was the year before. I had to cut a bunch of dead out. And you can see all the borer damage in there. So lilacs in our area, if you do not treat them with a systemic insecticide once a year, they will get borers at some point in their life. So all of the old ones on our property do have that, and so they're slowly dying. We're gonna have that one removed right there. I did plant a red point maple right behind it. I'm so glad I did that. I knew kind of in preparation, like we were gonna probably have to remove this lilac, so let's get something going, and it's already grown several feet. We're gonna have this locust branch tightened up a little bit so that it's not impeding. You can see the locust branch right here. Kind of makes it a weird shape anyway. So we'll bring it in a bit so that the red point can fill in this area here. We are having the arborvitae removed. I'm not sure if at some point there was two flanking this opening, but the whole opening and the fence are all going anyway. Let me step back out here. So looking out at the new property, you can see the new driveway, which it's been a little bit too muddy to work on. But the new driveway curves and then meets our lane over there. So all of this from that driveway all the way up here, including like we're removing all this gravel, all the fence line, that one tree there, all of this, all the grass is actually going to be removed as well. And we're going to seed brand new lawn. So it'll start at the sidewalk up there by the house and it will span the entire distance all the way out. We will have shade trees in this whole area, and there will still be flower beds. So there's going to be, you know, big flower beds along the borders here, but we wanted to create a really nice, big, expansive green. Hey, Russell. Hey, buddy. And this area will be under development for a really long time because my goal is, you know, like along the main lane where we have all the autumn blaze maples, I want to drive down that lane and kind of look across this expanse of beautiful green grass with shade trees, kind of almost like a park setting, where we're going to leave some openings big enough for Benjamin and Samantha Grace to play because we're kind of slowly chipping away the grass areas around our home, but this will be a perfect area for them to play soccer or football or just get out and run around. So I'm really looking forward to that. I have no vision for how the flower beds are going to look up around the house. I am such the type of person that I have to see things in process. Like I almost need things to be cleared out so that I can see things with a fresh eye. So it's going to be interesting. Also, something that we're looking at doing, probably not this year for sure, maybe not even next year, but I think we're going to have this entire new part of the house, we're going to have it all re-sided and we're going to have brand new windows put in that match each other so that everything lines up, and then we're going to put 3 dormers right there, and we're going to take this dormer off and make it more pitched instead of so wide, and we'll have the 3 dormers here and then one that matches here so that our house has a little bit more balance and a little bit more I don't know, like thought behind it. But that's a big project and that's something that we're going to have to plan for. So I'm not sure when that's going to happen. We also are considering, this is kind of like inside these windows is a little TV like nook area. And we're thinking about putting in a couple of double doors and bringing out, because we want to do a wraparound porch, but having the porch come out a little bit further onto maybe more of a patio area. I'm not real sure. But there are plans in the works for that. So standing a little bit more backed up, once again, what we're having removed is this one tree here, the arborvitae, and then the lilac that you can't really, well, I guess you can see it right there. So just 3 things up front. Well, and the fence, which all of this stuff is being rehomed. So what we do when we're getting ready to work on an area, Aaron takes pictures of things that we don't want anymore, and he puts it out on Facebook to our friends and family first. And to see if anybody wants to use it, and if nobody wants it, then he puts it out to public, and then we just let whoever, like first come first serve. If you can come like within an hour and pick it up, it's yours. We don't sell any of it, we just give it away. So like the little picket fence right here around the spruce that I love, and the ash tree that I love, all of it's kind of random. Like there was a picket that went around here, which the people that wanted it have already come and got the pieces they want, and then we'll just pop out the rest of these, and then all of this will be flower bed right here. It'll be awesome. But yeah, there was privet hedging when we moved in. We probably have some video or pictures. It was privets, little fence, privets, little fence. I just never really understood. Oh, look at all those tumbleweeds too, my goodness. So I think I want to keep the boxwoods. We're going to dig those up and relocate those. Those are winter gems, so they've got their nice little bronze winter color going on. So we will be repurposing some of the plants, and then we'll let other people come in and dig out what they want if there's anything kind of like in that area there. So let's take a little walk around here. I absolutely love that you can see that red twig dogwood now. There's a spirea here. Doesn't that red twig look gorgeous up against the spruce? And you didn't even really notice it there with the picket in the way. So as soon as the ground thaws a little bit, we'll be able to pop these out. I actually have not even looked at what it looks like from up front here. This won't be bad. This is kind of encouraging because I was a little nervous what it was going to look like. We're going to take out the fence up to that one beam post right there, the one that has the pointy top, because that's where the boxwood hedge stops. So there will be pickets still right in front of Versailles because I'm just not ready to get rid of it yet because we're not ready to do anything in Versailles, but I'm thankful that that boxwood hedge is right there because that will serve as our little fence. Not looking awesome right now with the posts, but it will. I'm going to let it fluff out a little bit. It's always been so hard to prune or to shear up because the fence was always in the way. So I'll be able to do a little cleanup and let it flush out some new growth, and then we'll have a nice emerald green hedge there. If you look across Versailles toward the gazebo, you can see the gazebo still there. The pine trees are gone. It's actually funny because the guy who comes out, our arborist, and looks at trees and things and helps us remove them, he has told me ever since he started helping us when we were in this house, he's like, every time, when are we going to take out the pine trees? When are you going to let me take those out? So that's always a little bit of an encouragement to me because when you're looking at trees that were as big as they were, that's a hard thing to remove, even if they're sick. But I'm looking across here, don't even miss that they're gone. They were such a nuisance in terms of the mess they created and the amount of dead that came out of them. And if you actually looked up, like the outer side looked okay, and that's kind of how evergreens go, they kind of grow out and the outer part looks good, but if you look up inside, tons of dead all over in there that I could never reach and get out. So you can see across there, the gazebo kind of sticks out a little bit more now that the pines are gone. But that will soon be gone, as well as the tool shed over there. So a couple of our friends are coming this morning to get that. So my goal for our whole landscape is just to create not a minimalist, obviously, landscape, but a less cluttered landscape. It is so easy to overdo with statuary and pots and buildings and all those things that they're fun. They're beautiful, they're fun, but it can be too much. And I think that I need to practice some restraint in that area, and I need to clear out stuff that's unnecessary, only put things in that I think are beautiful, that I want to have around for lots and lots of years. So in the end, what will end up here in this area, our fireplace will remain. I love that area, and that fireplace is original to the old side of the house. So 1919, I think. The chicken coop will still be there, and the Hartley Botanic greenhouse. So a little bit closer here, you can see the tool shed sitting there. So I'm excited for that to go because as soon as that's gone, you'll be able to see the chicken run. So we'll actually be able to see like activity from the chickens back there. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, you can see the barn. You'll be able to see the barn still. Gazebo, of course, will be gone, and the Hartley's going to actually come forward a few feet, and we're going to position it to where it's parallel the house, because right now the gazebo, when we get overhead shots, it's a little bit cockeyed. So I think this side sits back further than this side, so we'll bring this side forward. Of course, we're going to have like the whole concrete pad will be broken up. There is a pergola. That pergola is still behind the gazebo. That is going to our friend's house. Actually, Ken, who edits our videos, he is going to take that pergola home. We were going to donate it along with this, but it does need some work, and Ken's good at woodworking and things, and I think it'll be good at their house. Oh, and then over here, this is the big question I saw from a lot of you guys, was what we are doing with the pondless water feature that we just had put in. But Greg Whitstock brought his team here, and they put this in last year. It was really fun. It's all still intact. We, obviously need to do a little cleaning around it. This is where an old crabapple was. There's some juniper stumps that they're gonna grind out, so we'll have to do a little bit of repair work. We may be able just to keep it right here. It may be just in a perfect location, or if we need to move it, I'm not really that stressed about it. I feel like we will be able to move it, no problem. On the other side here, you can see a stump from a juniper. It was completely it was brown. I didn't even realize how far gone it was. So that stump will be ground out as well. So this whole area is just going to change so drastically. Look at the pond we've got going on over here. Water's not draining very well over there. I'm going to move Benjamin's trellis somewhere else, probably onto the new property. And then looking back at the house, you can see what the pines were doing to the brick walkway. Of course, all of this will be gone. We're going to be tackling this random brick patio area as well. I guess there's a cement pad under here. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, but that's what the previous owner said. And we did run into some concrete when we were planting bulbs this last year. I'm not sure if we'll actually tackle this space this year. I just don't know. There's a lot going on. I don't like chaos. I have no idea what I want to do with this space yet. So this might stay for another year. So a lot of exciting and scary things going on right now. It's scary to remove big stuff. It's scary to lay waste to a huge portion of your garden that was fine. Like, it was fine, it was pretty, you know, I got I could take always some pretty pictures over here, but it never felt like me. It never felt like an area that I really wanted to spend a lot of time in. And it always frustrated me to have so many things that needed so much attention and to be sprayed, and to know that they'll never look like their former selves. So this is a really good opportunity for us to put things in that are more appropriate for our climate, that don't deal with insect issues in our area or fungal issues. And I know, like Erin said, you know, in years down the road, even 5 years from now, 3 years, 5 years, when some of the things we put in this year get some size to them and you can kind of start seeing that structure take place or form in the garden, we'll be so thankful that we went ahead and just got rid of all the stuff in the beginning and didn't try to like work around somebody else's idea, but we get to just do our own thing. And you know what, before I'm done here, I think I'm gonna go grab my papers where I'm doing some like very loose sketches of what I want to do around the greenhouse. And it's going to evolve. I don't think what I have done on paper now is going to be what it's going to look like in the end, but it's a start. So I'll show you my thoughts. All right, I brought him out here outside because it's a little brighter. Okay, so I actually do have large grid paper, but I started drawing this out on a smaller sheet of paper and then I ended up having to tape a bunch of them together. So yes, very loose, very unprofessional, but this is the Hartley right here. This will be the front entrance that you can see from the house. We will have cold frames up front there. So those will be built into the front. So they'll have the same brick siding and then they'll have really pretty windows that pop up. I'm thinking a couple of boxwood hedge, so spherical boxwood hedging connecting them. And then I want to fill in on either side. And both of these will technically be, this will be east side, this will be west side. They'll technically both be full sun beds. Hey Russell, I don't want you to get your paw prints on there, bud, sorry. And then the back side, so we are having a second door installed, so you'll be able to see right through here. I'm gonna have a chandelier dropped in the center, and I wanna do a couple of benches on the back side with some containerized topiaries. This will be a pathway in here. So I think there are 6 feet from the door to there. I might be able to expand that to 8. And then there's 4 feet here, but it'll be big enough to get the gator through. And then you can see a little formal garden kind of starting to materialize behind. And this might bump up front. I'm not sure. It all depends on spacing. So you can see boxwood hedging here, a bench looking at a fountain in the center, hydrangea hedge, red twig dogwoods, 4 structural trees. So very tall, skinny trees. I don't know if they're gonna be evergreen or deciduous. And then we'll put some roses in the corners here. Some kind of fun annual, or not, well, maybe an annual, maybe like some kind of perennial that's really awesome in these corners. And then the coop, it will be over here. This is not true. I need to move it over a little bit. So I haven't done any designing where the fireplace area is. I think I'm gonna transfer all this to big grid paper first. But then in the front here, I also wanna have a pathway, maybe even like a little bistro table where we can sit, and then a couple more formal beds with benches that look toward the Hartley. But I don't want to do anything too tall in these beds because I really want the view to be solid. Like, I want to see the whole front of the Hartley. What do you think, Russell? That's where I'm at in terms of designing. I haven't made it very far. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like around the coop. I do want to maintain that whimsical kind of, I want to keep the pallet walkway there, I think. And we'll put some new trees around it that can kind of shroud it and keep it that kind of magical whimsy kind of feel. But I just don't know. I think it's going to be really fun to see it evolve. And I am no professional designer by any stretch of the imagination. It was actually one of my least favorite things to help customers with down at the garden center. But I have fun doing it. You know, just sitting, like yesterday, it was a crummy day. It was super windy. And so I just sat at the table. Samantha Grace was asleep, Benjamin was running around playing, and I just kind of started to sketch down some ideas. And I think that's what it's going to be, is just kind of small spaces at a time, because it's likely we won't be able to tackle all of this garden all this year, because that's a lot of plants and a lot of space and all of that stuff. But it's something that we can build on every year. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Just wanted to give you an update on what's going on. I know that Aaron's got some footage of all of this stuff going down. So I don't know if he's already played that in this video or if he'll play it now. I'm not sure. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.